You know that quiet moment, when the bills are due, the credit card statement arrives, and suddenly, your stomach twists. You've got the life you always wanted, or at least, the one everyone else seems to have. But somehow, it doesn't feel like freedom. It feels like tension. I want to start with something most people never admit. Living beyond your means isn't just a numbers problem. It's an emotional one. And yet, most financial advice talks about spreadsheets, budgets, or investment plans, as if money is just math. But it's not. Money is deeply human. And the stress that comes from chasing a lifestyle you can't actually afford, that stress quietly shapes every decision you make, long before the bills show up. Think about it, we're told that comfort equals success. Bigger apartment, nicer car, that perfect Instagram-able weekend getaway. We measure achievement in tangible symbols. And when those symbols become non-negotiables, when your self-worth starts leaning on what you own rather than what you have inside, you're already in trouble. The problem isn't the latte or the designer bag. The problem is the invisible weight, the shame, the pressure, the silent stress, that comes with pretending you're okay when you're not. Most people hide it. Some laugh it off. Others spiral into anxiety, wondering why they can't keep up. And here's the hard part. The very culture that pushes you toward this lifestyle makes you feel guilty for noticing the strain. You feel like you're failing, even though the system is designed to keep you overextended. Let's break this down. Imagine your life as a cup. Ideally, it should be full of your own priorities, security, health, relationships, small joys. But when you add expenses you can't really cover, you're pouring water into someone else's cup. The designer bag, the luxury weekend, the fancy dinners. They don't pour back into your happiness. They spill over and leak stress, debt, and shame into the parts of life that actually matter. Why do we do this? It's simple psychology. Social proof. Comparison. FOMO. Your brain is wired to notice what others have and want it too. And spending money you don't have creates a false sense of inclusion, a temporary relief from the anxiety of missing out. But that relief is fleeting, and the cost, both emotional and financial, piles up. Let me give you an example. Think of Emma, a friend I once knew. She earned a solid income, not huge, but enough to live comfortably. Yet she bought a car 2 levels above her means because everyone in her circle had something flashier. On paper, she was keeping up. In reality, she was living paycheck to paycheck, waking up anxious about payments, hiding her true financial state from friends, and avoiding calls from her bank. The moment she was alone, the quiet stress was deafening. It's not just anxiety, it's shame. And shame is heavy. It eats at your confidence, clouds decision-making, and makes you feel like you're failing at life, even when you're trying your best. And here's the kicker. When you finally confront it, you realize that the lifestyle you thought would bring respect or admiration, never actually made you happy. Now, add in lifestyle inflation. Most people don't even notice it. Income goes up, and suddenly rent, subscriptions, dinners out, gadgets, and clothing all creep up too. The problem isn't earning more. It's spending more because you earned more. Your emotional baseline doesn't change, but your financial obligations do. And what starts as a treat myself mindset slowly becomes a cage. There's also a silent social contract here. We feel pressure to show that we are successful, even if that means overextending. Our identities become tangled with appearances. The house, the car, the weekend trips, they're no longer optional, they're statements. And when you fail to maintain them, it feels like failure, not just financially, but personally. Here's where behavior economics intersects with psychology. When humans are confronted with debt or financial overreach, 2 things often happen. 1. Avoidance. People ignore bills, avoid checking statements, avoid planning. 2. Rationalization. It's just a temporary phase. Next paycheck will cover it. And often, it never does. The cycle repeats. Stress builds. Emotional bandwidth shrinks. Relationships strain. Sleep suffers. The human cost isn't captured by balance sheets. And yet, you can't just blame yourself. You weren't taught how to cope with these pressures. Schools rarely cover the emotional side of money. Friends might offer advice that's well-meaning but shallow. Society celebrates symbols of success, not the quiet satisfaction of living within means. That's why this problem is so widespread and invisible. But here's the turning point. The moment I realized what freedom actually meant wasn't when I upgraded my car or my apartment. It was when I stopped asking, what do I need to show, and started asking, what do I actually need to feel safe, calm, and in control. The mindset shift is subtle but profound. Freedom isn't defined by consumption, it's defined by choice. When you can say no without guilt, when you can pause instead of buying relief, when you can sleep without the quiet hum of worry, suddenly, your financial decisions feel lighter, more intentional, and surprisingly, more satisfying. You begin to see money differently, not just as a tool to acquire status, but as a tool to protect your peace of mind. And peace of mind has compounding power. The earlier you start prioritizing it, the more it multiplies over time. This doesn't mean extreme frugality or giving up what you enjoy. It means awareness, conscious decisions, and permission to resist social pressure, even when it feels uncomfortable. So how do you apply this in real life? Start with reflection. Look at your lifestyle honestly. Which parts are aligned with your values, and which are feeding someone else's expectations? Then, create small boundaries. Maybe you pause subscriptions you rarely use. Maybe you slow down on upgrades. Maybe you allow yourself joy in a way that doesn't compromise your financial safety. It's about moderation and choice, not deprivation. Next, normalize conversation. Talking about money, about stress, about shame, even with one trusted person, reduces its emotional power. The more we share, the less we feel isolated in this struggle. Finally, remember that lifestyle alignment isn't a destination, it's a process. Some weeks you'll slip, some weeks you'll thrive. The goal is awareness, not perfection. So, if you're watching this and feeling the weight of living a life that's bigger than your budget, know this: you are not failing. You are human. And the very fact that you're thinking about this, noticing it, questioning it, that's the start of real freedom. The emotional cost of overextending isn't measured in dollars. It's measured in quiet nights of worry, moments of shame, and the hidden tension under your daily smiles. But every conscious choice you make toward alignment chips away at that cost. Slowly, imperceptibly, but surely. Progress, not perfection. Awareness, not comparison. Calm, not chaos. That's the real victory. And in the end, the life you truly want, the one that brings peace and confidence, was never about the things you could buy. It was about the choices you make, quietly, every single day.